Sharon Zhang belongs on the all-star team of journalists, investigative journalists, writers out there. She works for
So like
Truthout
the Writers
primarily.
All-Star basketball team?
Yeah, she definitely
Does like
belongs on the
Glenn
writers.
Greenwald play center forward?
Um, he might. I don't know how tall he is exactly or how tall Sharon is, but I hear that she's got a mean hook. Um,
Mean hook. Yeah.
yeah, she's got a mean hook. So
Got
this
that
was on
sky hook.
August 31st, and this is still what probably is happening, according to Goldman Sachs, our favorite. So you know it's got to be true because it's
Oh,
coming from
yay.
corporate America. So it's probably even undersold. But 750,000 households may face eviction if Congress doesn't act. May face eviction. May not. May if they don't act. So you've got a protest there in front of City Hall. So analysis from Goldman Sachs finds that if Congress doesn't act soon to pass the eviction moratorium, 750,000 households, that's multi-millions of people, 2.5 and 3.5 million people are also significantly behind on rent, an estimated 12 to 17 billion dollars. Should we forgive rent? What do you think?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
So,
Rent's been pretty cool. We
yep,
should forgive it.
yeah, we should probably forgive that. Goldman Sachs estimate is, again, more conservative than a Census Bureau estimate from last week that said that about 1.3 million people could be facing eviction within just the next 2 months. Still, both these estimates should serve as a wake-up call for Congress, even as hundreds of thousands of families are threatened with imminent homelessness and destabilization. Part of the reason for the multi-billion-dollar rent debt is due to the failure of state governments to distribute tens of billions of dollars in rental aid given to them by the federal government. Lawmakers approved $46.5 billion distributed to states to help residents with rent payments during the pandemic, but only about 11% of it has been distributed as of last week, and we can't figure out exactly why. But there was an exact, she references an article there from the New York Times. 89% of rental assistance funds have not been distributed. Why? Not really sure.
Speaking of which, what is it, Monday? Protest on the Capitol steps.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
I think Affini's going to be there. I imagine Franco will show up.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty good.
We'll see if the squad goes and gives a performance again.
Well,
So, yeah.
according
Because
to
it looks real bad, right? If they don't show up.
Yeah,
Like,
Darlene saying in chat that the criteria is super narrow and the documentation is ridiculous that's required. So we need to, of course they're making it difficult for everyone to be able
People's
to get
Party
their
going to
hands
be
on
there.
it. So here you go. Of about 2.8 million households, the Times reported about 500,000 reported receiving funds. 700,000 applications have been rejected. Many renters who are behind haven't even applied. This could be due to states not publicizing the rental assistance or creating a complicated application system, as Darlene mentioned. People's Party, yes. People's Party will be protesting on the steps of Congress. Nick Brown announced that last night on Jimmy Dore's show.
Yep.
Conservative.
I think it's at 3:30.
Was it 3 or 3:30
on Monday? People are going to want to go.
Monday
something
afternoon.
Like that. Monday, Labor Day.
Yep. Conservative justices in the Supreme Court recently shot down the Biden administration's latest eviction moratorium extension. The justices cruelly argued that the eviction moratorium couldn't be upheld because it could be a slippery slope to other government assistance programs like food and internet aid. Heaven forbid we gave people that, right?
Yep.
Yeah, the moratorium was set to protect renters until October, but the Supreme Court decision has put a huge swath of renters at risk of immediate eviction. On top of what's happening with the unemployment insurance extension running out, I believe as of today. And for all of those that are having that, we're so sorry about that. And it's $300 a week extra that that people are losing out on. Just terrible. They need to put that back in place. These places still aren't
Depends on
reopened.
how long they. Depends on how long they. I'm talking to Darlene in chat who asked, "I will start walking east. I might make it from MO. What do you think?" It depends on how long that protest lasts. You know. So we'll see.
Yeah, exactly. With COVID out there, you're going to evict people, and then that's going to cause even more people to get COVID potentially. Not only that,
Yep.
homelessness. What were we watching? Was it you that I was watching something with today earlier that 1 in 3 people that are homeless, or 1 in 2 people, or 1 in 4 people who are homeless now have been in the foster care system? No, it was Christian's live stream earlier from Ride the Fence, which was absolutely
Makes sense.
unbelievable. I mean, it's not a
Yeah.
surprising statistic, but it's terribly sad and kind of
Yep.
unbelievable that we haven't figured out a way to help these kids and to better
One of
deal with it.
the biggest things coming out of the foster care child is BPD, borderline personality disorder,
Mm,
right? You know, fear of abandonment, all that stuff. You know, identity issues. You know, it stems into this weird complex that it could be chemical in nature and genetic and all sorts of fun stuff on top of that. But
mm.
foster care, usually you see a lot of that coming out of that system. You know,
Right, right.
so
So here
but
on on Friday, over 60 House Democrats signed a sternly worded letter to Democratic leadership, pleading for them to bring a vote, pass new eviction moratorium. It's about all they can do, led by AOC, Cori Bush, Ayanna, doing all that they can do at this point, but they gave up the leverage when they had it essentially multiple times when things needed to be passed. You could have gone to the $15 an hour. You could have gone to the Trump impeachment. You could have gone to the military budget. You could have gone to all these different times when there were must-pass bills that were on the table. Hey,
that that sounds real familiar. That strategy. I don't,
well, it's called hold your
the strategy
representatives.
of using.
It's called hold leadership accountable.
Yeah,
I don't even want to use the words
yeah.
because it's so inflammatory, but we
Oh, that
can.
that 3-letter acronym. You know, that 3-letter acronym that you know a man
JDS,
named
what?
Jimmy Dore decided to put. Yeah, that too. Yeah,
JDS, a sternly worded letter,
yeah.
exactly.
Forcing
Yeah.
forcing votes, something like that.
Force the
Something.
go.
It's right on the tip of my tongue. I just can't. You
Right. They face
know.
long odds of passing a moratorium through Congress. However, Democrats in the House shot down the idea in July just before it was about to end. It's unclear whether or not there would be more support this time, as Nancy Pelosi pointed out at the time, but they only had a couple days to draft and pass it because they haven't had any time since then and haven't known that this is coming since then. And nobody's put it on the table. Democrats are also up against the real estate firms that have poured millions into lobbying to stop the eviction moratorium. But 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 the people who are getting
But
kicked out of their homes. Sharon Zhang is
not
a
the
news
people.
writer at Truthout, and she is phenomenal. All-star team level. One of the best out there. One of my favorites.